did you see that happened with Jared Allen, and how did you guys really overcome being without him in such a big game?
I mean, it's tough, obviously, but, I felt like we had a bunch of guys that stepped up. You look at what Evan did out there on both ends of the floor, Lowry moving over to play some power forward, Kevin playing, Dean Wade coming in, playing with size. So we had a bunch of guys that come in, and Ed Davis gave us great minutes. OG came off the bench and played well and helped us, spell guys and still be effective. So, we threw a ton of bodies at it, and that's the only way you can replace a guy like Jay.
Did you know that Dean Wade had the type of dunk in him?
Yeah, we knew it. We were trying to get him to do it.
Ashley Cleveland.com. JB, another Evan question. I mean, when he's crashing the boards like he does, it seems like even if he can't get two hands on the ball and grab it, he's so good at tipping it out to a teammate. Just how key that is for him being, so strong on the glass.
Well, it's just him asserting himself on the game, understanding the circumstances of the game. I think that's what's, pretty amazing for a guy of his experience is, put something in front of him that has, major consequences in the, the record and what we're trying to do. And for him to go out and do what he did tonight, that's special. You don't see a guy who understands the job that needs to be done, at that age and that experience, and then go out and do it, and then lose his running mate and have to do more, and then go and do more. So, it's special.
And then when you talk about all these guys kind of adapting and filling that hole that J.A. left when he left the lineup, I guess when you guys are trying to navigate this rough stretch within the 6 out of 7 losses, or 6 losses in the last 7 games, like how key is a performance like that where it's kind of well-rounded to try and get this slump out of you guys, I guess?
That's who we are, right? Like our message from day one is be the best team. And that's the only way we've had any success. We've never had, individual successes come at the detriment to the team. All of our successes have come because of the team mentality.
Coach Smith, Athletic, Jimmy, we've talked a lot this last week about effort. So how much in this game, one, does the win, did you need that win, but also the effort alongside of it, building off of the last couple of days of just talking about it and seeing it kind of come to fruition, I guess?
We would not have won this game if we didn't put forth the right effort. They're too good, too talented, too aggressive. And if we would not have played with great effort, we would not have won. So, one couldn't have come without the other. So I think that's the message, and our guys understand that. We have to outwork people and we have to outcompete people. And if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance.
Was this, just, I guess, a reminder, especially on the defensive end, of just how effective you guys can be with the bigs? And I know obviously Jared going down, but the way that everyone stepped up and just kind of, I guess, a glimpse again of what you guys have been.
Yeah, we know who we are. You look at NBA seasons and, there's ups and downs for everybody. And what you have to do is, one, figure out how to keep it short. Two, figure out what got you to where you were in the beginning. So this one was a little longer than we would have liked. And then the schedule, was a difficult schedule going into Philly, playing well there, and knowing we had to come back in the circumstances we were here. So, our guys did the job and, continue to find our identity and be who we've always been.
How much is JP? JP, what happened to Jared?
I have not talked to. I know his quad first is what I was told when they first told me he wasn't coming back in the game, and I have not talked to him afterwards. What it is.
What happened?
I could not. No, I could not see what happened.
And there was a couple plays, especially down the third quarter was tough. A little bit ugly at times.
Yeah.
That play that Isaac made with the shot clock running down, where he misses the shot, goes to the other side, grabs his rebound, comes back underneath. What does that say about his growth and just the kind of maturity he showed in that moment to know not to panic and what have you?
Well, he knows how he helps this team win. And he helps us win when it's the ugliest, right? When it's the grittiest. That's where Isaac thrives. His game, doesn't have to be pretty and free flowing and fun. like he takes on, the gritty challenges on both ends of the floor, and he knows that's how he impacts our winning.
Marla Riding, our Akron Beacon Journal. You talked before the game how big this was. So now that it's over, what does this say about you guys?
That we know how to respond to the moment. And the thing that is most impressive is obviously we had individual guys, but it was still the team that did it. And everybody we called upon gave us something and gave us what we needed. Goody came off the bench, gave us great minutes to spare Darius. Like everybody down the line came to contribute because they don't want to see this continue in that little slump we were in. They wanted to get out of it. They knew how important this game was.
And you mentioned you wanted to see that out of Dean. Have you seen it in practice?
Yeah, we've seen Dean dunk on people quite a bit. Yeah. He's extremely athletic, but like that ferocity, like that's what we want to see out of Dean all the time.
Jeff.
Jeff Shadone, News Herald. I want to ask you about Evan Mobley. How is it that he has not hit a rookie wall after playing 56 games in his first NBA?
Because I think he contains and controls his emotions. And I think the rookie wall comes when emotionally you get exhausted because you do the roller coaster of emotions, highs and lows. And I think he stays pretty even keel for the most part. So, like all guys, he may have to fight the physical fatigue, but he's not fighting physical fatigue and mental fatigue because he's not doing this. And I think that's why he's been able to sustain.
Matt Robinson, 93 The Fan. JB, you were able to hold Toronto to 25% from beyond the arc. Was that a focus for you guys defensively coming in?
We want to do the job protecting the paint. They were without, quite a few of their shooters and perimeter players. So we knew the job that they were going to do was they were trying to put their head down, get to the paint, get to the basket. We knew we were going to give up some threes, but we wanted to contest them. But we would rather this group, take contested threes and, dominate us in the paint, which they're capable of.
And you mentioned Brandon Goodwin as well, but, coming off the bench, didn't score, but was still plus 15 and the plus minus for tonight. What does that say about him and the improvements that he's made since coming to Cleveland? Just
understanding who he is and how he helps the team. He's another guy when we talk about, individual personalities that care more about the team than themselves. Excuse me. He's one of those guys, and that's why he fits.
Thank you.
Chris, you have anything before it goes up? Sure. Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. Hey, JB.
What's up, Chris?
How did the Raptors change their defense after Jarrett went down when it came to defending Darius?
I think they were more aggressive, more two on the ball and more aggressive when he was off the ball. I thought, we talk about the freedom of movement, the offense is supposed to be allowed. They do a great job of limiting that and being physical and putting their bodies on them. So I think because of, when Jarrett's there, there's that lob threat that other teams are accustomed to. They were more willing to put two on him, try to trap him and be more aggressive higher on the floor.
So I know you were talking about Evan being even keeled and keeping his emotions in check, but when he plays against Cade and Scotty and some of these other guys, or he plays, in his NBA debut against Memphis, or he plays in tonight's game with the stakes so high, do you sense anything different from him in any sort of way?
I think there's a higher purpose that he plays the game with when the games matter most. And, not everybody has the ability to rise when the lights are the brightest. And I think that's what Evan has the ability to do.
All right, last two here. Chris.
JB, Chris from Dimag. Evan had 7 offensive rebounds tonight. I think that's a new career high. What was it about him in this game that allowed him to go after offensive rebounds like that?
He was dominant and he was forceful. He was playing with a purpose that he knew he had to do everything in his power to help us win this game. And, I think he did that on both ends of the floor.
It's just, as far as the offensive rebounding goes, is that something you guys want more from him going forward?
Yeah. No, we want him because he has the ability to dominate the paint in all facets. Whether that's the offensive rebounds, that's running, that's rim runs, that's lobs. that's attacking with the ball in his hands. Like, we want him to dominate the paint on both ends of the floor.
Thank you.
Last one, Evan.
Evan Demerol, Facebook News. JB, you mentioned even in the loss to Philadelphia, you noticed a lot of good things and just a lot of things you're building upon. And you're a big proponent of this team playing a full team game for a full 48 minutes. Did you see a lot of that tonight against Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what gave us the opportunity to win the ball game. There was a lot of plays defensively. When you look at, the second and third quarter, you give up 17 and 16 points. Like, no matter what your offense is doing, if you can defend that way, you're going to give yourself a chance. And, I thought our guys did a phenomenal job of just making the game ugly and doing what we had to do to win it.
And in terms of three-point shooting, you guys have kind of struggled a little bit post All-Star break. And tonight, Jetty and Kevin were really locked in, and Lowry hit a few threes as well, and so did Darius. Does that just help unlock things for you guys going forward? And is that you feel like that's another positive momentum shift heading your way?
Yeah, I mean, we got open looks too. I think that's one of the things that's really important is, what type of threes are you generating? We know we have guys that are capable of making threes, but we just need to make sure we're getting the right ones, and I thought we got those tonight.